I know you have another seminar connected with love, and especially for women. It goes Inner Love Seminar. Can you please tell us something more about it?
This is probably one of my favorite seminars. I absolutely love the seminar because this is where I also see really big changes in people taking place. Because as I say to my students, you can't love someone else if you can't love yourself first. Because that kind of love, I find from my own personal experience, comes from a place of neediness. Loving someone because you have a fear of being alone. Loving someone because you have a fear of not being accepted. But when you really truly find and discover that self-love within yourself, it just doesn't matter. People's opinions and judgment about you just doesn't affect you anymore. And the way that you love, the way that you are in your relationships, whether it's friendship or intimate or in work, really changes. And I find that it moves to such a more authentic place. It's coming from being really you. Really truly being you. Because if you love and accept yourself, you can absolutely allow yourself to shine. You can really allow yourself to just be who you want to be, and know that people will love you and accept you, and those who don't are just not meant to be in your circle. And I'm a very strong, firm believer in that. And the inner love is all about redefining what is your definition of love. Because the definition of love for some people can be, I feel loved when someone buys me a present, or I feel loved when I get a hug from someone. But for me, my definition of love is really about respecting myself, feeling respected, and allowing myself to be vulnerable with people without fearing being judged or being attacked. It really is about just being your true, authentic self, but you have to accept that first. You can't wait for other people to define that for you. You can't wait for other people to accept that first. You have to accept that first. And for me personally, having been through that process myself, accepting yourself can sometimes be one of the hardest things to do, because it really makes you look down deep inside. What is it there in me that I'm avoiding? What is it that I don't want to say? And instead of allowing people to define who you are, you choose who you want to be. You choose your identity. And you can only do that when you really come from a place of knowing who I am, loving myself, and being true to myself, my values, what do I stand for, and not allowing other people to alter that for you. And it really comes down to being brave enough to stand strong on your own 2 feet, regardless of what other people will think about it. But when I say that, I don't mean that coming from a place of being aggressive or fighting for it. Just having that humbleness, that confidence, that self-assurance, knowing that who I am is good enough. And that's an extremely powerful place to be in, because I find that when you look at successful people, you see that they don't really care what people think about them, because the confidence that they have, that reassurance of who I am and what I do is perfect and good enough. And that is what's taking them to exactly where they want to be in their life. And that is what I really focus on in the inner love, is to really find that core essence of who you are, accept it, love it, and be happy with that, and just let your real identity shine.
So the result of this seminar, so people they love themselves, accept themselves, they're becoming very confident, right? And
even boundaries. I even found feedback without even having touched topics about boundaries. I found that students coming back to me saying that, wow, I finally said no to my husband for the first time, or I could actually say to my boss, no, I don't want to do this, or this is not how it should be done. Like, just really finding that fine line between my boundaries and respecting it. It's like a lot of things just spontaneously starts to change in your life when you really have that sense of self-love. It's got such a beautiful ripple effect into so many areas.
Yes, because it's a seminar about you.
Exactly.